Hey guys, and welcome to not a gaming video. It is about gaming though, but it's not exactly a gaming video. That's where the complication comes in. I'm gonna be doing not a top 10. It's just in random order, but it's called Gaming's First. Basically, stuff that people did before anything else, like maybe the first type of game or first I don't know, world records. Now, keep in mind that all these records that I'm about to show you about gaming are, in case you don't know what that big number right there means, it is the Guinness World Record 2015 Gaming Edition. Literally, I took all these from the books, so sources all from the books. Either way, let's get on with our first record. So, the first ever puzzle game that was ever made. Now, this is a bit complicated. It was 1973's Gotcha. Although it never drew as many coins as Atari's other arcade hits, Gotcha was a two-player cabinet that saw gamers chasing each other through ever-changing maze. What that basically means, I'm reading all of these from the Guinness World Record book. What that basically means is that the mazes keep changing and you have to kind of verse each other. So, credits to him. Okay, let's watch a bit of gameplay here. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to find the original Gotcha gameplay. So, of course, we're going to have to take a look at the new re-released. Because I couldn't find the old gameplay, so we had to go with this. So, as you can see, gamers chase through ever-changing mazes, which could be the pyramids in this case. And as you can see, we're trying to kill each other. I'm not even sure if this is the right Gotcha, because that's how old the game is. I think it's the oldest game in this list. Is it? Yes, it is actually the oldest game in this list. Anyway, first ever open world video game. Believe it or not, it was not like GTA 1 or something like that, or GTA San Andreas. No, it was 1984's Elliott. And I do have footage of Elliott, actually. But Elliott is a bit of a different. It wasn't the type of GTA 3D kind of game that you'd expect, but it allowed gamers of 1984 to become space pilots who were free to travel anywhere in the galaxy. This was the kind of open world of the game where interstellar merchants trade in goods ranging from commodities to risky contraband. So according to Guinness World Record, that should technically mean that they could basically go around anywhere in the galaxy trading things. So, skip ahead, let me show you. Basically loading. I think this is how it looked back then. I can't even believe, like... And as you can see, this is the front view, you could call it, I guess. That was the first-person camera of those days. You can see how confusing the game looks, but it was 1984. It was the first, okay? Anyway, first HD. Okay, before you start complaining, Sony fanboys or Sony ponies, Xbox fanboys, whatever, just stop with the console wars. The first HD console was Xbox 360, hands down. Now, I'm not saying it's better, although it did support HDMI, but the only problem was PS3 was shipped a year after Xbox 360, which gives Xbox 360 the title. And it is indeed the first HD console. I found sectioned right here. Microsoft Xbox 360 hit the shelves on 22 November 2005, almost a year before Sony's PS3, which also supported HD, which is good. In the end, the two consoles shifted almost the same number of units worldwide. 82.63 million for Xbox 360 and 81.01 for PS3 as of 18th August 2004. 14. What am I saying? So let me just show you an advert from Xbox 360's Kinect project. You guys remember Kinect, right? So product vision, actual features and functionality may vary. There we go, introducing a new way to play. No controller required, I get it. And so you can see the guys like playing. Do you remember that game? I think that's like no, it wasn't. That's a Halo game, Kombat Evolved. It was something like that. It was a really failed Kinect game on Xbox One. I remember. It wasn't exactly that, but it was pretty failed. No clue what that's about. Okay, so as you can see, Kinect project. And Kinect did sell better than PlayStation Move, but it was still not perfect. So the first online 3D fighting game, and I found it right here, was 2004's Mortal Kombat Deception. Obviously, Mortal Kombat has broken a lot of records, but this is the one that kind of stood out. 3D fight. No, don't mistake 3D for like put on glasses. Woo, it's in front of me. No, 3D more as in kind of the third person kind of point of view where you can actually roam around. I'll show you the example in a second. But the first 3D fighter to offer an online gaming mode was Mortal Kombat Deception, released in 2004 as the 6th installment in the series. The game offered PlayStation 2 and Xbox players one-on-one fighting between 2 players over the net, in addition to 2 more sedate minigames, puzzle combat and chess combat. I just read that straight off Guinness World Record. With that being said, this was the first ever game that actually allowed Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, is it what they call it? The users to just go on, play each other online. So let me just skip this video ahead. But Mortal Kombat has obviously broken a lot of records. Ooh, perfect. Right in the beginning of a fight, I'm assuming. So, as you can see, the graphics are not too good. Yeah. Yin Yang Island. Whatever. So, that's an intro, I'm assuming. Moving on. Oh, wait, we have not paused the video yet. Anyway, first ever action/adventure. Okay, this is where it gets a little weird. I was planning not to count this game, but since the Guinness World Record says so, I kind of have to go with it. It was 1979's game called Adventure. It wasn't really a game. It had technically 3 video games in it, 3 skill levels, but only 1 player. The wonder of the game Adventure is that it exists at all. At a time when adventure games were text only, it were released in 1979 for the Atari 2600, despite its tiny memory. The gameplay involved exploring castles and rooms to locate keys and items to progress through the game. The graphics were primitive. The players were represented by a square cursor, but it was revolutionary for bucking conventions such as scoring, and it sold 1.3 million copies. I will show you what that means. It is not what you'd expect. So this is kind of their version of a cutscene. Just keep watching. And here it is, and there it is. So basically, that's the square, which is us. You have to collect the keys, and you have to somehow just place them and open these different gates, which actually doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it could have been worse. So, moving up. The next one, the first game to use real-world physics, was 1979's Asteroids. Asteroids is obviously a classic, everyone knows it. But this one is a bit more, well, I mean, it's Asteroids. How many records has this broken? Not so many, but it's still a classic. Asteroids, 1979, involved players jetting around in a spaceship to pulverize lumps of rocks in space, with momentum making the job harder. It was a commercial hit, although 10 is for 2 from 1958. Also used physics-based technology, but it was still displayed as an oscilloscope, confined to a US lab, so it was in practical terms. So, asteroids, obviously, I'll show you what I mean by real-world physics. See that? That is what you call real-world physics. Let's just... So, Asteroids is a bit of a mess, but, I mean, it's classic, whatnot. In the first PlayStation game to sell over 1 million units. That's a lot of units, even though Adventure did technically sell 1.3 million units, we're counting PlayStation games, was obviously Tekken. Tekken was an instant hit. The Tekken series is now the best-selling fighter franchise without crossovers, with 36.3 million sales as of 20th June 2014. The fact that people still even bought Tekken games surprises me this day when there's Killer Instinct and many other Mortal Kombat and loads of these games, like Mortal Kombat X is coming out, but yeah, I mean, back then, this was a big thing. Like, this was actually a big thing. Look at that. Yeah, not the best combat, but, like, still, it was a big thing back then. And, of course, we're coming to the end of the list here. First game to use ragdoll physics. I think you all know what ragdoll physics is. If you don't, go search up soccer physics and play that game. It's just a mess. But the first game to use ragdoll physics was... Ragdoll physics, first of all, is the effect applied to polygonal games. game character deaths that are generated by algorithms rather than manual programming. In theory, what this book is trying to say is that it's basically people bouncing around realistically. In 1998, Jurassic Park Trespasser was the first title to introduce the ragdoll concept to gaming. Let me show you. So here comes the boring old cutscenes where we first discovered. Apparently the island's name is Trespasser, and as you can see, we had to get these different. We had to basically survive evading dinosaurs and everything. So I'm assuming, yeah, the graphics aren't too good, but I mean, the effects are actually okay. Moving on, this is a bonus. It is our last one. The first person to play video games in space. I'm sorry I don't have a gameplay footage for this one, because obviously no gameplay, and this was a very long time ago, 1993. But I couldn't find anything for it. No matter how hard I searched, I couldn't find anything. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was the first time and people have done more. But hey, go away. But Russian Cosmo... I don't even know what a cosmonaut is. I'm just going to read the Soviet Guinness World Records. But... there we go. Russian cosmonaut Alexander Serebrov played Tetris on the Mir space station in 1993. Like all cosmonauts, I love sport, wrote Serebrov. My particular favorites are football and swimming. During flight, in rare minutes of leisure, I enjoyed playing Game Boy. So basically, he took out a Game Boy in space and started playing with it. Yeah, that's how much they are. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Show your support and subscribe.